It's okay, because the stream is
All right. We'll call the special meeting for the board reorganization to order, please. Roll call, please, Mrs. Emmett.
Mr. Collins,
here.
Mrs. DeCiato,
Here.
Mr. Enslin,
Here.
Mr. Gershi, Mr. Gambita.
Here.
Mr. Kowalski,
Here.
Mr. Hoke,
Here.
Mr. Auckland,
Here.
and Mr.
Here.
Madam, Mr. Vice President, you have all 9 board members here.
All right, thank you, Ms. Emmett. Letter D is the, I'm sorry, letter C is the oath of office. We'll do that with our solicitor. And the first one will be Mr. Collins, I believe.
Good. Okay, Mr. Collins, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, James Collins,
I, James Collins,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
If you could sign the oath.
Yes.
And next, I believe we'll have Mr. Gambita.
Mr. Gambita, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Joseph Gambita,
I, Joseph Gambita,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge
and I will discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
If you can sign the oath.
Right here.
Yes, sir.
Next, I believe we'll have Mr. Auckland.
Mr. Auckland, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Mike Auckland. I, Mike Auckland. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will support. I will support. Obey and defend. Obey and defend. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of this Commonwealth. And the Constitution of this Commonwealth. And that I will discharge the duties. I will discharge the duties. Of my office. Of my office. With fidelity. With fidelity. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. On the top.
And finally, we'll have Mr. Wood.
Wood, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Ethan Wood,
I, Ethan Wood,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey and defend the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's all your oaths.
Thank you. Thank you all, and congratulations to all of you, and welcome, Mr. Collins. Our next thing will be to appoint a temporary chairman. I'd like to nominate Mr. Gershie as that. Are there anybody else that would like to be nominated as our temporary chairman? All right, all in favor of Mr. Gershie, please say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed, say no, please. Okay, Mr. Gershie, the meeting is yours. You're muted and your mic is up, sir.
There we go. Sorry about that. And technology. Okay. Okay. We will now accept nominations for the office of president, board president.
I'd like to nominate Rick Hoke as board president.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Hoke has been nominated.
Second that.
You don't have to second necessarily. We're the yellow thing there. You can, but okay. Are there any other nominations for president? Okay. Okay. I will also accept nominations now for the vice president of the board.
Dana DeSanto.
Okay. Okay. Dana DeSanto has been nominated. Are there any other nominations for board vice president? Okay, we will now have a voice vote. So for president, Mr. Hoke has been nominated. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Are there any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Hoke is elected president. For vice president, Mrs. DeSanto has been nominated. All those in favor of Mrs. DeSanto as for vice president, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Mrs. DeSanto is the vice president. Congratulations to Mr. Hoke and to Mrs. DeSanto. Do we have is there any other business for this meeting? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will move to adjourn, Mr. Gershie.
Okay, thank you. And do we have a second on that?
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm dropping off the call now. It's really loud here.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Dana,
Dana.
and
Thank you, Dana.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Looking forward to working
Thank
with
you,
you.
guys. Me as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, I guess we'll begin the work session now. Dr. Barrett?
Thank you, Mr. Hoke. Okay, Ms. Emmett, we have the agenda up on. There we go. Okay, so prior to the December 1st board meeting, we're going to review the agenda and then open the board meeting as usual. So looking down beyond the call to order, prayer, roll call, etc., we have our approval of minutes, number 5. Treasurer's report is number 6. 7 is our approval of bills. Number 8 is our accounting of taxes. We do have a staff member to recognize this evening. Number 10 is our student recognition in our principals list for the first marking period. And then we will move to recognition of the public, which will allot for 15 minutes. We do have a few members of the public that wish to speak, so we will allot approximately, I believe there are 4 members, so we're looking at 3 to 4 minutes apiece to keep it within that time frame. Our enrollment report is number 12. Moving along to number 13, this is our settlement agreement with the Western Wayne Education Association. Number 14 is the winter sports passes and admissions for the upcoming athletic season. We're looking at students with an ID are free, $2 for other students and $3 for adults. We're also offering a family pass at $15, as well as a resident pass for $10. Number 15 is an agreement with Pennsylvania College of Technology. This is a wonderful opportunity that Dr. La Rosa has been working on the last several weeks, months. Dr. La Rosa, you want to give us a brief synopsis of that, please?
And I'll unmute. Okay, so everyone received a packet, a little bit of information for you to review at your leisure about the Penn College AMP program. This is an agreement with the College of Technology for an advanced manufacturing pre-apprenticeship program for juniors and seniors. It will start in January of 2022. And this is a 4-month program, basically a career exploratory program that provides students with an understanding of technical training and the career paths in the manufacturing industry. So on the second sheet, you'll see some basic information about that, but what students will have the opportunity to do is complete 30 to 40 hours of a self-paced online program. They'll have access to teachers who are certified at Penn College. They will also participate in 3 laboratory sessions on the campus. And they will also have opportunities to network with individuals in that industry. If students complete this program, they also have the opportunity to sit for the certification exam and earn the Certified Manufacturing Associate credentials. So it's an amazing opportunity for our students. Mrs. Palco and the school counselors at the high school set up a exploratory program. Students who are interested could come, listen to the program, do their presentation. And right now at the current time, we have 10 students who are interested in this program. So if we do agree to move forward with this, there is an MOU, a memo of understanding, that we would return back to the college as soon as possible. We would have students enrolled in January, and this would continue through the end of May. So it's an amazing opportunity for our students, and it's something in addition to what our technology department is already offering. So take a look at the information. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I can share the little webinar if you're interested in learning more.
You said 10 currently, or 11, what was the number that are currently interested?
There's 10 students that would be looking to register.
Thank you.
Which is a nice group of individuals. Oh, and I forgot the most important part. There's no cost to the district. This is covered under a PA SMART grant. So it's not costing the district anything other than running it like a field trip when the students have to go down to the college for those three days. So minimal expense to the district, but a great opportunity for our kids.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. La Rosa, very much. Again, that is a wonderful opportunity for our students. Number 16 is an agreement with the Gregory Center. This is for services for applied behavior analyst or an analysis at the rate of $100 per hour. based upon student need and IEP services. And that is funded through ESSER's funds. Number 17 are transportation contracts. We have a new van run from Homesdale to the middle high school effective November 9th. We also have a van run number 142 from Moscow to East Stroudsburg effective November 16th. Number 18 is the approval of drivers and substitutes. We're always looking for additional drivers and subs. They are difficult to come by, but we're very grateful and appreciative that we have several on the list this evening. So as listed there, for contractor Cabbage, Debbie Swingle, DeRosa, and Jenkins. Number 19 is an employment contract for the superintendent from February 2nd through 2022 through February 1st, 2027. Again, I would just like to offer my thanks and appreciation for all that the board has provided for us, the support you've given me, and I'm very much looking forward to another 5 years and making the district as best it can be, and just very grateful. Thank you very much. Letter B is a district substitute list. We do have several guest teachers, custodial substitutes, as well as secretaries substitutes on there. Letter C are 2 sabbatical requests. One is for professional development and for restoration of health, which we had previously discussed. In letter D, under personnel, are resignations. One is from a paraprofessional and one is from a custodian, as listed there. Letter E is an appointment for long-term substitute as a result of one of these sabbaticals for the second semester, which is for English at the middle school. Letter F is an appointment for a girls basketball assistant coach. Letter G is an appointment for a food service employee. And actually, I believe we have to make a correction on that. Correct, Ms. Emmett? Instead of 3 hours, it should read 5 hours. So that was a misprint that we identified. So if we could just note that when it's the motion is being read, that would be great. Letter I is a request for a transfer for a custodian from the first to second or second to first shift. And then letter J is to approve the following volunteers for boys basketball, girls basketball, and band as listed. And then number 20 are the proposed board meeting dates for the 2022 calendar year. Again, as listed, and those are subject to change based upon emergency circumstances or weather, inclement weather, etc. But they are the proposed dates as listed. And then number 21, we have informational items. We have a blood drive, December 3rd, semi-formal, December 4th, 6th grade chorus concert, December 7th. We have an Act 80 noon dismissal on December 8th, 7th and 8th grade concert on December 9th, FCCLA drive-through breakfast with Santa at the high school parking lot on December 11th. December 14th is the 7th and 8th grade chorus concert. December 17th, high school Christmas concert. 23rd is a noon dismissal for the holiday break there. And then the 24th through January 2nd, there is no school for students. And then January 11th is the 6th grade band concert. We do have a student teacher from Eastern University who will be an intern for the school nursing practicum. And then we also have a student teacher for music education from March 15th through May 6th. And that is our agenda. We have our future board meeting dates proposed there, as well as there was an executive session held for personnel immediately after last month's board meeting. Any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the agenda?
I have none.
Mr. Rockland, before we get in, before that, I just have one more thing I'd like, if Mr. Black could be allowed to speak. It's just something positive we want to mention to the board that we're trying to put together basically for the 50th anniversary of the first graduating class at the high school. So, Mr. Black, are you
Yeah, I'm here.
available? There we go.
Can everyone hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, as Dr. Barrett mentioned, next year, the 22-23 school year will be the 50th anniversary of the opening of the high school and the first graduating class from Western Wayne High School. And what we'd like to do in talking with Dr. Barrett and Mr. Gorski and other members of the administrative team is we'd like to do basically a celebration of that momentous. I mean, there's not too often that we have, that you can celebrate 50 years of anything. And I think it's been, a very special time here at Western Wayne. So what we are proposing is that next school year that we hold celebrations throughout the year at different events to recognize, the very rich history that we've had here at Western Wayne. We'd like to begin the planning and include not only, the administrative staff, but community members as well. And what we'd like to do is invite the community in and set up committees so that we can have events, hold events throughout the year and to celebrate 50 years of Western Wayne and its existence. This is something I think would be very special, not only for the present student body and the teachers and the staff, the custodians, and everyone involved on a day-to-day basis, but everybody that's walked the halls of Western Wayne. And we can do events throughout the year. And things we're talking about doing is recognizing past faculty members, bringing in maybe at the band concert in the spring, or having former band members sit and have an alumni band sit with the present band members, maybe have art shows with former students and artists that have gone on and done things, bring in guest speakers throughout the year, and just really celebrate everything that Western Wayne's done over the last 50 years and include everyone throughout its great past, from the very first class in 72 and 73 right through to this graduating class in 21-22 and then next year as well. Our plan is to have an initial meeting in a couple of weeks. We'll send out an invite to everybody in the community to meet at Western Wayne and begin the planning, set up committees, and be able to really, like I said, do something special here, not only for the school and the kids and the faculty and everybody else, but for the entire community, especially after, the last couple of years have been tough, and I think it'd be great to have something to celebrate, looking forward to next year. So that is basically the plan. Moving
Bob,
forward.
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That was, it was a fantastic idea. I think, we'll get a lot of support for that and have some wonderful events planned throughout the course of next school year, and looking forward to getting that underway over the next several weeks and months. So. Okay. Thank you, Bob, again. Appreciate it. Mr. Auckland, you wanted to discuss?
Right, with the current situation with the lawsuits going on, the mandates, calling them unconstitutional, even with the vaccine mandates, and the governor's orders of the lifting of on January 17th next year. I'd like to talk about an end date to the masking mandate. I mean, it's obviously been doing this for 18 months, and it's like we're gonna have to end this sooner or later. We just can't keep doing this for perpetuity. So I put on the table that we talk about putting an end date on this.
Yes, I agree. We have to wait to see what the court decision will be on December 8th. So until then, they extended they upheld the mandate until that date. Depending on what the court decides on that date, we may be mandated to continue on to the 17th till the governor or the Department of Health's order expires. If that is not the case, we still do have our health and safety plan that would take effect thereafter. So what we can discuss, what I would like to discuss with the board, is what parameters we want to work in to find an end date to determine exactly when we feel it would be appropriate to either make masks optional or whatever it is we decide at that point. But yes, we could definitely discuss further. Again, we're not going to have all the information until next week. So I don't want to jump the gun and be presumptuous here, but we do have some ideas we've been discussing with the intermediate unit, with the 20 school districts involved with that, as well as with Wayne Memorial Hospital and the health centers there. We meet bi-weekly still. So we're gathering some information, and we do have some proposals that we can put on the table.
I'm fine with optional, and I'm fine with, if I have to sign a waiver, that's fine too. I mean, I'm trying to meet halfway here, but I just can't stand, I can't stand the mask anymore.
Sure. Well, again, I mean, I don't think anybody really truly likes them by any means. But again, we're working within the law to hold what we need to. So again, on December 8th would be a date to look forward to and to get some more information, and then we can discuss further thereafter as well.
Or December 8th, it's something, whatever, which ways it goes. Do we have another meeting to discuss, or you want to wait till our next board meeting? Or
I think we could call a special meeting if we felt it was pressing, but I think there's a limited amount of time between that date and the Christmas break. I don't know what date we actually leave for Christmas.
23rd.
So for that shorter period of time, I think my 2 cents, I think we stay the course. And then at the January 2nd meeting, by then we should have hopefully some clear guidance, January 2nd or 3rd.
The 3rd is the work session, and then the following Wednesday would be the voting meeting.
Right. So
5th.
at that point, we should
Right,
have some
5th.
clear guidance, and we should be able to make a decision whether we go optional or what we do.
Earlier this evening, I saw a brief snippet on the news that said that it's in the hands of the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, right?
That's correct. Exactly.
The mandate stays in effect until
that decision is made by the Supreme Court. So, and they may uphold it, they may not, but again, as Mr. Hoke was saying, We do have our current health and safety plan in place, so we would have to vote on that to alter what we're doing. So we would still, being that in the high category, still remain with the masks for at least a 2-week period, and then review the data, on that weekly basis. Again, considering we're in the middle of 2 holidays, rates are still high. I would probably recommend that. I do recommend that we would continue on with that course of action until after the holidays, and then we can discuss the parameters thereafter.
Yeah, I believe the numbers that I saw were 59 positives in Wayne County on Monday, and in the 20s, I believe, or I think it was Monday, and in the 20s the next day. So our numbers are still significantly higher than when we originally took this action. So we'll have to see how things fall out over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully an end is in sight.
I agree. I think everybody agrees. We hope to see this end sooner than later. But again, yes, we'll be discussing that topic over the next several weeks for sure. And I'll be providing as much information as I can in the meantime.
Regardless, on 17th, I don't know what if I in court, because in 17th is the governor's order is being lifted, right? It's up to the school board then, right?
It
On the
reverts back.
17th, regardless what happens.
Correct.
I think the fight is, can as we as school boards force people to wear masks, right? I think that's what the issue is, right?
If it's the governor's or the Department of Health orders, then yes, we're obligated to enforce that. If it's lifted, it reverts back to the district health and safety plan. And again, if that's something that we want to adjust at that point, we would have to meet and discuss and then formally vote on it. I believe now we have to have a public viewing available for comment before it's formally approved. So there's a little bit of a process to that as well. But again, we'll provide as much as we can as soon as we can.
Public viewing for the health plan, if we change it?
Yeah. Just to give anybody, if they want to provide input, some input, but at the same, and then it's not too specific, I don't believe at this point as to how long that entails. It could be a week or so, but at least provide some time for public input. Okay, any other questions on that? Any other comments, concerns?
Okay. We want to take a brief break, or are we going to head right into the regular meeting?
If we want to go right into it, we can go right into it and get it underway. Okay, thank you, everyone. Much appreciated.
Okay, if everyone's ready, we'll call to order this meeting of the Western Wayne School Board. Begin with a prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Lord, please grant us wisdom in our decisions, and please give your grace and peace to all in need as we head into the Christmas season, especially the people impacted by the tragedy earlier this week in Oxford, Michigan. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Miss Emmett will do the roll call, please.
Mr. Collins,
Here.
Mrs. DeCiotto. Okay. Mr. Enslin,
Here.
Mr. Gershi, Mr. Gogalski,
Here.
Mr. Gambita.
Here.
Mr. Hoke.
Here.
Mr. Aukland.
Here.
Mr. Wood.
Here.
Attorney Ellis.
Here.
Dr. Barrett.
Here.
Dr. La Rosa.
Here.
And Ms. Emmett is here. Mr. Hoke, you have 8 board members present.
Thank you, Ms. Emmett. We'll move on to number 5, the approval of minutes. Have a motion for that one, please.
I move that we approve the minutes board work session held.
I think you're still muted, Mr. Gershi. Are you still muted?
I don't think so. Sorry about that again.
Thank you. Nope, thank you.
I guess I was remuted by someone. And that might be a good thing. No. I move that we approve the minutes of the board work session held November 3rd, 2021, and the regular board meeting held November 3rd, 2021.
A second.
Okay, the motion was made by Mr. Gershi and seconded by Mr. Wood. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion carries. Next would be the treasurer's reports. Motion for number 6, please.
I move to accept the treasurer's reports from the general and food service accounts.
Second.
All right, that motion was made by Mr. Gogolski and seconded by Mr. Wood. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying no? The motion carries. Next would be number 7, a motion for the approval of bills, please.
I move for the approval of bills from the general, food service, and construction accounts.
I'll second.
Again, the motion was made by Mr. Gogolski and seconded by Mr. Wood. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed by saying no? Okay, a motion carries. Anything on the accounting of taxes? Nothing. Okay, on to staff recognition.
Okay, at this point, Mr. Pigeon, are you available to provide some comment for us regarding a staff recognition? We're very proud of the staff member who went above and beyond the normal call of duty to help out a child. So he'll be with us in just one moment.
I'm here. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Barrett. Tonight, we would like to take a moment to recognize one of our paraprofessionals from Evergreen Elementary, Ms. Tammy Rivezi. On November 4th, while Ms. Rivezi was on pre-K lunch duty, she observed a student choking on her sandwich. As she sent another staff member to alert the school nurse, Ms. Rivezi quickly reacted to the emergency to perform the Heimlich maneuver. Thanks to her quick thinking and calm demeanor, Ms. Rivezi was able to dislodge the food from the student's airway. We would like to acknowledge Ms. Rivezi for her efforts on this November day, as she continuously works to ensure the safety of all students under her watch.
That's fantastic. I would also like to thank Ms. Rivezi. I believe that's the second time that she's successfully used the Heimlich maneuver in the cafeteria at Evergreen. So hats off to her quick thinking and great job. Thank you. Now we'll go on to next would be student recognition.
Yeah, Mr. Hoke, can we just add one more thing in there with Dr. La Rosa?
I'm sorry, absolutely.
That's okay. We just want to have one more staff recognition.
Oh, I didn't know we had 2. Okay, thank you.
So we would like to thank members of the Hideout. They conducted a food drive. They asked community members to donate non-perishable food items. And we met with the high school and accepted these items. So we are extremely grateful for their donation. They did not want to be named, but we would like to recognize them. They are also planning to conduct a food drive in December as well. So thank you to all those individuals who contributed, and it is very much appreciated. Those items were placed in our food pantries across the district. So thank you.
Very well. Okay, thank you. And we'll echo that same thank you that Dr. La Rosa just gave to, and whenever we help out with those food pantries, it's a great thing. Now we'll try number 10. Student
Yes.
recognition.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you. Mr. Gregorski, moving on to student recognition. We do have principals list and then senior recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Barrett. Tonight, we'd like to recognize members of the principals list. These individuals represent the students in grades 9 through 12 scoring the highest average in the first marking period. So our two highest scoring average students in 9th grade are Leah Hartman and David Elias III. In 10th grade, our two high scoring students are Rainey Carroll and Adrian Agnello. For 11th grade, our highest performing students, Kylie Maring and Evan Pierce. And in grade 12, Jordan Ortiz and Kaylee Romanowski. And I'd like to congratulate all of those students on their incredible efforts in the first marking period. Also congratulate their parents on an excellent job. And, it's a credit to them to start the school year off with such a remarkably high average. And I hope they keep it up moving forward. If we can progress on to the student recognition, tonight we have two outstanding seniors that we would like to recognize. The first of which is Alexandria Biename. Alexandria is the daughter of Sue and Lazard Biename of Lake Area.
Good evening. My name is Alexandria Biename. First and foremost, I would like to take this time to thank the Board of Education for
We're going to start that over. We apologize for the technical difficulties.
Good evening. My name is Alexandria Biename. First and foremost, I would like to take this time to thank the Board of Education for granting me this opportunity being recognized today, as well as the opportunities that have been provided to me throughout my whole academic career at Western Wayne. I would also like to thank my teachers and coaches that have been my greatest inspirations and role models over these last 4 years. Every single one of my teachers has taught me something valuable that can be applicable inside and outside of the classroom, and I'm forever indebted to them for that. They have unlocked passions within me that I was never aware of and have allowed me to become the person I am today, both academically and personally. I have the utmost respect and appreciation for each and every one of my teachers, but especially for my English teachers, Miss Morgan and Miss Picconi-Augelli. They have both truly taught me the importance of communication skills, many life lessons, and of course the ins and outs of one of my favorite courses, literature. While I have been kept busy with many sports and activities throughout my years of high school, I can say confidently that they have undoubtedly prepared me for my future. From being my class's treasurer freshman year to being the current class president, I have developed skills and qualities that contribute to the leader and ambassador I've always aspired to be. Throughout my time at Western Wayne, I've been enrolled in many honors and in AP courses that expose me to different curriculums. Some of my favorites being Calculus with Miss Carey and AP Bio with Miss McClure. These exposures have allowed me to discover my love of math and science, which I hope to continue to further my education in at a 4-year university on the pre-med track to become an orthopedic surgeon. I would also like to thank my parents and my brother for their guidance and support every day that allowed me to accomplish what I have, and for them to set me on the right track to ensure my successful future. Thank you again for this opportunity, and have a lovely rest of your evening.
Thank you, Dr. Barrett. And I'd like to congratulate Alexandria on her fantastic accomplishments. And again, congratulate her parents, Sue and Lazard Biename, for raising a fantastic young lady. Up next this evening, we would like to recognize Rachel Hoke. Rachel is the daughter of Rick and Jen Hoke of Lake Ariel.
Western Wayne High School. I would first like to start by thanking the school board for this opportunity to be recognized, and I would like to thank Western Wayne in general for the many opportunities it has provided for me throughout my entire life. I'm also extending a thank you to my teachers and coaches throughout the years, especially to Coach Thorpe, my volleyball coach, who I've worked with for the past 4 years, because he is the perfect role model for respect and sportsmanship, and he has always pushed me to do my best. Throughout my time at Western Wayne, I have been enrolled in many honors and AP courses, my favorite being AP Calculus with Mr. McDonough. I have also participated in many clubs and sports. I even got to compete at the national level for FBLA for 3 years, hoping on a 4th this year in my event, Parliamentary Procedure. Because of FBLA, I was able to visit San Antonio for a week, and I would have been able to visit Anaheim and Salt Lake City as well if it wasn't for COVID. I have been a member of NHS for the past 3 years, and this year I was appointed treasurer. I am also the treasurer for the varsity club. When I'm not busy with all of this, I like to volunteer. My favorite event that I have volunteered at so far is Challenger Baseball, where I got to help special needs athletes of all ages make their way around the bases. I also enjoyed volunteering as a model for the catwalk right here in our own auditorium, because as a freshman, I got to spend a few days immersed in sewing and design, which I had recently discovered a passion for. In addition to my school activities, I am also a part-time employee at Scarfolato's Townhouse Diner and Restaurant in Honesdale. My future plans include attending a university majoring in architecture. Before I go, I'd like to thank my parents, Rick and Jen, for everything they have done for me and for their continued support. They have put me on the right track to have a successful and happy future. Once again, thank you for this opportunity and have a good evening.
And once again, I'd like to congratulate Rachel on her efforts and again, congratulate her parents, Rick and Jen, for doing a fantastic job with all their kids and Rachel especially. So thank you to them and congratulations to everyone being recognized again this evening.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rogorski. I know one of those girls is just a little better than the other one, but I would like to, I'd like to wish them both the best and thank you for being such a big part of the Western Wayne community. We've been involved, Rachel's our youngest, we've been involved now this 21 years. We've had a student here at Western Wayne and I've had a great experience with all of them. So this is hearing the young people speak about their accomplishments is one of the highlights of being on the board, and I wish the best to Allie and Rachel. And we'll move forward with, next will be the recognition of the public. Miss Emmett, we have some people that would like to speak. Dr. Barrett has them, okay.
Okay, first we have a Christina Hines from Lake Ariel that would like to address the board. Ms. Hines. We'll come back. Hopefully she'll come back online. Next we have Victoria Palazzo from Moscow. Okay, I believe both of those individuals did want to speak about some concerns they had with the masking updates. She did, okay. So we can go back to. We'll give Christina a moment or Ms. Hines a moment to get up and running here. Okay, Ms. Hines, I believe you're ready to go. Unmute her.
Wrong time. Yeah, thank you for giving me some time today. I just a couple things, I guess. I feel kind of disappointed in the board at this point. I feel like the fact that I could go to the grocery store, to Walmart, a restaurant, basically wherever I want, but we can't have an in-person board meeting. I just feel like it's just absurd. I'm mad, I'm frustrated. I'm also kind of fearful about what my kids are going through. And I feel like these meetings, there's not really any reason why they can't be in person. So that's kind of the first thing. Also, I feel I stand with hundreds of parents and residents of this community while asking just relentlessly that you allow parents to make the best medical decisions for their own kids. I feel like I wake up every day, I look at the news, I look at, what's going on in this world. I look at countries like Australia, Germany, they've turned into police states. And my next concern is what's going to happen with these vaccines and these vaccine mandates. So I'd really like an answer from you guys on if you're planning on mandating this vaccine for our kids. And if you're not, are you planning on either doing a vax, either you're vaxxed or you keep a mask on. Because if that's the case, I feel like that's putting kids in an awkward position. And I feel like it's, setting them up for bullying and segregation and a number of other things. I just feel that forcing a child to wear a mask over their face is unacceptable. Forcing them to take an experimental vaccine is unacceptable. I've basically lost faith in the board's ability to make the right decisions for my kids. And I'm quickly losing faith that the boards are going to make any decision that puts my child above their feelings and the funding. I'm hopeful that on December 8th, as you guys just discussed, that they will lift these mandates and hopefully the board will vote in favor of making masks optional from here on out, because I really do feel like it's the parents, it should be the parents' decision. So I guess in the end, these are the issues that keep me up at night. The masks on my kids, the vaccine mandates, or if you're going to either ask them to vax or mask themselves. And I'm also concerned about CRT coming down the pipeline and SEL or whatever the terminology is that you guys use for it. I've looked into pulling my kids from the school so they can attend a school that values parents' opinions, more traditional values like family and God. And it's a hard choice for me. I don't want to. I really don't want to pull my kids from the school. But I just get so worked up and I get so frustrated with, what's happening. And I was just hoping to get an answer on those things. And also when you guys are planning to go back to in-person board meetings as well. So I was hoping you could answer those things for me.
Want me to try to answer that, or do you want to go?
I could give a brief answer because unfortunately some of those topics we can't give an answer on at the moment because we don't have all the information. But I could assure you that those are conversations that we will be having in the coming weeks. And again, we're working within the parameters that we're obligated to under the law. Until that changes or we're provided an opportunity to make an alternative decision, the recommendation for sure is to follow what we're obligated to do legally.
So are you legally obligated to mandate these vaccines that are coming out for the kids?
No,
I don't believe so. Not so far, and I don't think that'll happen
Yeah, that is not something that we've heard will happen at the moment. Down the road, I can't speak for what may happen, but that is not currently on the table.
And what about moving forward about either if they're not vaccinated, then they have to be masked? Have you guys had any kind of conversation regarding that?
Well, again, those are some conversations we'll have administratively with members of the medical community to get their recommendations. We'll forward that on to the board. And then we'll have that conversation with the board to make an ultimate determination as to which way we want to go with it.
And what about the CRT and the SEL and these different programs coming down the
That's
pipe?
come up. That's come up a few times too, and we've had no discussions on that. We have no desire to address that until it needs to be addressed, and right now, it doesn't need to be.
Okay. And any idea when you guys are planning on going back to in-person board meetings? So
We would like to be in person sooner than later, for sure. But again, we'll have to have those conversations and base that on the situation at hand.
all right, that's all I have.
Thank you for
Thank you
your
very much.
input.
Okay, is Mrs. Palazzo available by chance? We see her? No, I didn't see her. Okay. All right, we'll move along to who we have next. We have Amanda Johnson, Dr. Johnson. We get her up and running, please.
Dr. Johnson, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Very good.
You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I wanted to start with a couple of positives. I'm glad to see that the concerts are coming back and our young athletes are going to be doing their winter sports. I was very pleased to hear agenda number 15 with the Pennsylvania College of Technology. That sounds like a phenomenal opportunity for our students. I think that's a great way to start looking at some positives here. I do have some concerns. The agenda sunshine law protocol requires that we have available agendas, printed agendas for every meeting. I don't believe we're accomplishing that. That is a big worry. That is not part of what we should be doing. We're talking about following the law. That is currently the law. The second that I'd like to mention, please, is that this community invests a vast amount of resources to make sure that we have such fantastic students receive everything possible to our abilities. We do have a constitutional right to assemble. I do not currently have a verifiable document or an exact legal basis as to why we have not complied with the August alert from the Office of Open Records, the law, in-person meetings, and we can see that on their webpage. Why are we having documentation from Pennsylvania School Board assisting us do Zoom instead of public meetings? What is the documentation between the last meeting where it was stated we were going to have in person? What crisis has occurred? And why are we already listing a Zoom meeting for January 5th and January 12th? What emergency is going to be that persistent that we already have listed on this agenda, that we will only have a Zoom meeting on the 5th and the 12th? And why are we not doing hybrid meetings like a lot of the districts are? And I have in my hand documentation, and you are talking about how many people are getting sued. I have in my hand court documents from Bucks County, where the people who invest millions of dollars in their school districts want to know why our elected officials and our employees are not allowing us to assemble. We have the right. So those are my questions.
Okay, again, Dr. Johnson, we did work with our solicitor.
Documentation, sir, please.
And we do have some guidance from the Pennsylvania School Boards Association as to how to conduct a virtual meeting in situations like we're in currently.
Right. Documentation, could I please have documentation as to what is the crisis that will cause us to already schedule a Zoom meeting on January 5th and 12th? What is the current crisis that is going to extend all the way into January that you cannot provide us with in person? We are having children who will be playing sports. We are selling passes. I see on our agenda that we are doing winter sport passes. So we can have people coming in, $2 for students, $3 for adults. And yet we cannot do an in-person meeting. Why are we having sports? Why are we having these absolutely wonderful concerts? And yet we are being denied our constitutional rights to assemble in the school district that we are investing in. We are shareholders. We are not observers from afar. Please tell me, why are we doing this as it is some sort of a crisis? What is the documentation? What numbers are you following? What are you looking at? What reports can we see? Please.
Well, from a COVID standpoint, we've been in the high category for months at this point, and we're still
high category of what, sir?
From the CDC county level of transmissions.
Okay, but what are we tracking? Are we tracking individuals that are testing positive? Are we tracking hospitalizations?
Yes, we do receive those reports from Wayne Memorial as well on a biweekly basis, and again, we do meet with them to discuss the parameters that we're facing.
Why are we then doing any sort of sporting events? If we are having parameters that are too dangerous for people to sit in an hour-long meeting, why are we doing any sporting events?
We also had some safety concerns, but not just from a COVID standpoint, but in terms of incidents at one of our board meetings that caused some concern amongst myself and the board members in protecting the people here.
Okay.
So that was also
in that case. I'm so very sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I apologize. It's this virtual thing. That was back in September. We are now going in December.
And again, we're looking at several factors to determine. Again, we would like to be back in person as soon as possible. We would like to be without masks as soon as possible. But
you're already
we need to be flexible, and we as we have been in the past, and we're taking this day by day, and we're looking at.
You are not taking it day by day, sir. You have this meeting scheduled already as a Zoom meeting in the January 12th. That's not day by day.
That can change if the board determines that.
Please put it as in person. If it can change, be optimistic. Be optimistic and put it in person and figure out a way to do a blended meeting.
All right, Dr. Johnson, we know your opinion on this. I'm gonna cut you off on this portion of it at that point. We understand that you want to be here in person. We believe, according to our solicitor and everything else we've looked at, we're following the law in the format that we're using for these current meetings. I'm sorry that you're not happy with that, but we're going to proceed with the rest of the public comment. Do you have anything else that you wanted to speak of?
Oh, I do, but I apparently have run out of time, so thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we have anyone else?
We have Robert Hess. Mr. Hess would like to speak as well from Lake Ariel.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So first, I just want to say I agree with what Mr. Auckland and Mrs. Hines said about the this mask wearing charade. I think it's run its course. I've heard in this meeting alone, I've actually heard a district official and other times talk about COVID number counts in the county, but fail to recognize that the disease itself has close to zero effect on children. Now, as just a question, does anyone on this meeting know how many children have under the age of 18 have died from COVID total?
I don't
have
have
those
those numbers,
numbers.
but I can tell you, I think part of this conversation that we have to have is not just about the children. That's of course a large concern of ours, but it's also the community at large, the parents, the grandparents, the sick cousin, anybody else that they may come in contact with. So at this point, it's been fairly simple. The mandate, the way it's been described and the way I understand it is it's presumptive law until it's disproven in a court of law. Those battles are still going on. So at this point, I think, and the board has talked ad nauseum. We've discussed it many times. None of us want to make everyone wear these masks. But at this point, three times we've decided to follow the mandate until the court or something else changes.
Okay, so to get this right, nobody knows that number that I asked that was readily available.
Is that, hold on, Mr. Hess, you're talking about in total for beginning of the pandemic?
Literally, yes, at everything since the beginning of the pandemic. How many children?
I'll give it's about 300.
No, it's not higher than that, actually. It's 630, and that's out of the 6.9 million children who have tested positive for COVID. So that's a death rate of about 0.0000914%, which is an anomaly. I mean, if you're placing policies based off of that percentage, you must run in zigzag patterns to your car on a sunny day to not get struck by lightning. And furthermore, when we talk about COVID as a whole, since since October 29th, every single individual above the age of 5 has had the ability to get vaccinated, right? There's outliers. Some people may be allergic to vaccines. I understand that, but those are outliers. So that protection's been in place. And I find it really disturbing that the board in this district has not been proactive in restructuring the outdated health and safety plan. It was put in place prior to the vaccine being widely available. The vaccine has been available for children over the age of 4 for over a month now. The governor announced that the mask mandate would be lifted on the 17th of January. He announced that back on November 8th, and you guys are talking about waiting until after the holiday break to put in a new plan or discuss it. This is stuff that should have been discussed a while ago, back when he announced that it was going to be lifted. The fact that it's been put off this long is just absurd in my opinion. And I really do hope that you guys can come together and put up a special meeting, whatever the case may be, to have this resolved before the holiday break, because prolonging it makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your input, sir. We will, we have and we will continue to discuss it and make changes as we deem them necessary.
I didn't discuss it. Dr. Barrett already said that. So you guys can discuss it further.
Thank you. Do you have anything else, sir?
No, that's all. I just hope that you guys can educate yourself on the actual effect of COVID rather than, go along with like this fear mongering. I mean, you guys don't even have the data readily available that's affecting the children in the community. And you talk about community health as a whole. We're all adults. We can get vaccinated. We can elect to wear masks. I think it's time we put this whole mask wearing charade to the side and let people live their lives.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your input. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Do we have anyone else from the public that would like to speak? Okay. So that now we'll go on to, I'm gonna put my glasses back on. Right. Our enrollment numbers are in the agenda, and then we're going to do a block vote.
Okay.
Number 13 through 20, holding out number 19A.
Okay.
I have a motion for that, please.
Sure. I move we approve a consent block motion for items 13 through 20, withholding 19A, and with the correction for 19G, changing 3 hours per day to 5 hours per day.
Was that Mr. Gambita?
I second it. Sorry.
All right. Motion for that block, or the motion for that block group was made by Mr. Gershi and seconded by Mr. Gambita. Is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed by saying no? All right, that motion carries. Now we'll go on to number 19G, was G, A, I'm sorry, 19A. Can we have a motion for that agenda item, please?
I move that the Board of Education approve the superintendent's employment contract negotiated between the board and Dr. Matthew Barrett for the period of February 2nd, 2022 through February 1st, 2027, and that the board president and secretary be authorized and directed to execute the contract on behalf of the board.
I'll second that. All right, that motion was made by Mr. Wood and seconded by myself. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna do a roll call. Okay, we'll do a roll call for this one. I guess I would like to add in there, thank Dr. Barrett for what he's done over the last several years, and we're looking forward to the next 5. Okay, you want to call the roll, please?
Thank you.
Yep. Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Enslin,
Yes.
Mr. Gershi,
Yes.
Mr. Gogolski,
Yes.
Mr. Gambita,
Yes.
Mr. Hoke,
Yes.
Mr. Auckland,
Yes.
and Mr. Wood.
Yes.
With 8 yeses, the motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Emmett. And I think the rest of the agenda, we talked about just prior to this meeting in the work session, so I don't think we need to go over that, correct? We have all the dates and times and everything for anyone to read. They'll also be, I believe, on the website. Is that accurate? Yep. Okay, very good. Number 22, we have any correspondence? Any questions on the superintendent's report, the assistant superintendent's report, the principal's report? Nothing? All right, federal programs report?
No update.
Any other business that anyone would like to talk about? All right, we have a number 28, a meeting held on Wednesday, November 3rd. We had an executive session for personnel held immediately after the regular board meeting. Future meetings will be Wednesday, January 5th at 6 p.m. in the boardroom and via Zoom. At this point, on Wednesday, January 12th, will be our regular public meeting via Zoom in the administration building as well. Is there anything else? All right, a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Thank you.